Dear students, today we'll start a new lesson, that is lesson 4, things we do. So you can all turn to page 22, 22. So after studying this lesson, students, we will learn different types of occupation and why occupations are important. We'll learn about child labor, okay? So students, we will also learn from this chapter the working time and leisure time. So this chapter is going to be very, very interesting. Now students, to start this chapter, uh, let me start with this point. That is, we have always learned, like in our first class, class 1, class 2, we have learned that we need food for survival. We need clothes for protection, right? But where does this clothes and where does this food comes from? We have to buy, right? And to buy clothes and food, we need money. So students, from where do we get this money? So students, we need to work, okay? We need to work to get money. So students, that is occupation. Okay, that is occupation, and everyone in this world have different occupation. So we are going to study about occupation in this lesson. So let's get started. Now students, to start with, we'll start from this family. Here we can see a small family here. We can see a mother and two brothers here. And here we can see the father. The father is in office, right? So just imagine, okay? So the story is in this way. It's a very short story. So it's afternoon, okay? It is afternoon now. And it's tea time, afternoon tea time. So now here is mom. So mom has prepared afternoon tea and snacks. And here we have, like, we can see two children here. These are her two sons. Now the first one here with orange is his name is Sinti, and here the one with yellow is Moi. So now one thing, while they were enjoying the afternoon tea and snacks, one thing that really bothered both of them, and they noticed something. So they asked their mother, okay? So they asked the mother. Now the question that they raised was about this. Every time, in morning or in evening, during the lunchtime, dinner time, or in breakfast time, it is always four of them. That means the father was there, right? But they noticed this thing that in every afternoon, the father always skip the afternoon tea and snack time. So they asked mother, why father always misses afternoon tea? So the mother thought this was the best time to explain her two sons about occupation. So now the mother replied that because of your father's occupation, he can't be with us during afternoon. Now he is in office. Now students, one of the son asks, what is occupation? So the mother replied that occupation is the work that one does for a living. Okay? So now the other son again asks, what kind of occupation or what kind of work does our father do? So the mother replied, your father work as a office assistant. Okay, office assistant. So you can see here, so office assistant is someone who looks after all the files. He assists in all the works, office works. Okay, so students, from here the two sons learn about the occupation. Now students, let's see. So today we will learn about this occupation. So just like the mother explained about occupation to her two sons, now we are going to see different occupation. Now students, we can see here there are like different groups of people involved in different field. Now occupation, students, is the work that one does for a living. Now when you grow up, students, you all need to work to earn for your living. Okay, students? And occupation, it can be big or small, but student, every occupation you should respect. No occupation is big or small. All the occupation plays a very, very important role. Okay, so students, if you get sick and if there are no doctors, where will you go? So we need doctors, right? Just like that, students, we need sweepers, we need cobbler, we need masons. And there are many occupations, big to small, and we all need to respect every occupation. So let's see some common occupations. Now, students, we can see a group of women. They are selling vegetables, right? We can see here, we can see there are two groups here. We can see they are selling vegetables. Now, why they are selling vegetables? Because by whatever money they get from here, they have to feed their family. Okay? So this is their occupation. And they are doing this to feed their family. So this is their occupation. Now, what do we call them? We call them vegetables vendor. Okay? VEGETABLE, vegetable vendor. VENDOR. So they sell vegetables and this is their occupation. Okay? Now let's see this. So students, here this is very common. And in India and in Nagaland, many people depend on farming for their livelihood. And farming is a very important occupation. Now why? Because they grow crops, rice, fruits, vegetables, everything we get from them. Now students, we should respect, like I have said, we should respect every occupation. Just like a farmer. A farmer is the one who works and through them we get all vegetables, all food. Okay? So students, this type of occupation, it is called farmer. Okay? FARMER. Now, this is very common. This type of occupation we call shopkeeper. And a shopkeeper is someone who sells goods. And we all need goods, right? So a shopkeeper is someone who sells goods. Shopkeeper. 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 Now students, here, have you ever seen this type of work, students? So this is, we call blacksmith. BLACKSMITH. So blacksmith is someone who works with irons. Okay? So students, this is their occupation, and whatever money they earn from here, they earn for their family, for their livelihood, to feed their family. Okay? Now, so students, we have seen some very common occupations, right? So let's get back to the story where we started. A mother, two children, that is Santi and Moi, and the father who works as an office assistant. So students, now Moa and Santi both they have learned about occupation, okay? And they have also learned that we should respect all the occupation. That is what they have learned. So now the mother also explained that all the occupations have like have different timings. Okay, timing. So it's not that we work 24 hours in a day. We also have a leisure time. Okay, leisure time. So this is a leisure time. Leisure time is when we don't have any works, we are free. So I want to ask you, what do you do in your leisure time? So students, your friend Cinti and moi, when they get leisure time, they play marbles with friends. So this is marbles. So do you like playing marbles? So this is what Senti and moi does when they get a leisure time. So the mother explained the importance of working time and as well as leisure time to both the sons. Okay. Now it is very important. Leisure time is very important. Suppose, let me explain you in this way. Suppose in school you have like 8 period or you have maybe 6 period. If you don't get any break in between, you'll get tired, right? So in class you also get a short break and you get a long break, right? And in those long breaks you are free. You can eat your lunch, you can play, you can do whatever you want. During break you don't study, right? So students, we all need leisure time. Okay, we all need leisure time, and this leisure time we can utilize it by doing what we like. So let me suggest you, in your leisure time you can play with your friends like Moa and Sinti, okay? Or you can help your parents in the household work. Okay, so students, now here we see a group of kids. Now students, our topic here is the right to go to school. So students, every children, they have this right to go to school. Now, some students, some children, they are unable to go to school like you. Do you know the reason, students? Because their parents are very poor, or the parents are dead. Now students, so that's why they cannot go to school. But student, let me tell you that it is very important to go to school, and the government, our government has, our government gives a free and compulsory education. Isn't that good? So you should let your friends, if there's any friends who is unable to go to school because of poverty, because they're very poor, you have to tell them that it is free. Okay? So from 6 years to 14 years, the government of India gives compulsory, free and compulsory education. So every student, every children, they deserve to go to school. Because student, education is very important for everyone. Okay? And education is very important for the nation. By being educated, you are contributing to the nation. And student, education is the first step, okay, of development for a child. Okay? It gives you the skills, the value, okay, and your knowledge. So students, education is very important, and you are contributing to the growth of the nation. So students, you must tell and share your friends who are unable to go to school the importance of education, and you have to let them know how it is, how the government helps, okay, and how they can avail the free education. Now students, it is said, now you can see from this picture, there are some children who have to work to feed themselves. They have to work for their livelihood. From this tree picture, we can see this small guy is working. Now this in the middle one, he's carrying all this firewood and all. And by doing this, he's getting paid, and that's how he will feed himself at this young, tender age. Now we can see this third person, a small kid like one of you, how hard he's working. Now students, they deserve to go to school, okay? They deserve to get education. Now you know what we will call them? These children who are working. Now when their friends are going to school, they are working to earn a livelihood. So children who works for their livelihood, we call child labor. Okay? CHILD, child labor, LABOUR. So students, this type of children, they deserve to go to school. Okay? Now students, if you have any friends that you know that who lives their life like this, they earn their livelihood by working at a young, tender age, you must help them. Okay? And how you will help them, that is the question, right? So students, you can share your food with them. You can give your all notebooks. If you have an extra pencil, you can share with them. Okay? You can give your clothes to them. In that way, you are helping your friend, and we are contributing. We are, in that way, we grow. Okay? And we are contributing to the nation as well. So students, we must stop child labor, and we should all try to help this type of children, because they deserve to go to school and they deserve to get educated. Okay? So students, that comes to the end of the chapter. Now it is question time. So are you ready? Okay. So students, the first question, what is occupation? Now this is very interesting, right? So occupation, in a very simple word, it is the work that one does for a living. Now, students, the second question, what is the occupation of your father, mother, or guardian? So students, some of you are living with your parents and some of you are living with your guardian. So since today we have learned about occupation, you can ask your mother or your father, or if you are living with your guardian, you can ask what they do for a living and write it down. Okay? Now the third question, why do people have different working and leisure time? Now students, it is very simple, right? Because all the occupations are different and they have different working time. Now students, the fourth question, why do some children work for a living? So students, what do we call those children who work for a living? We call them child labor, right? Now they are compelled, they are forced to work because of poverty, because the parents are very poor or the parents are dead, right? So you can write that answer. Now, students, what is the answer for the fifth question, the last question? What is child labor? Child labor, the answer is very simple. Children who works for living. Okay? So student, that comes to the end of our question time. And from this chapter, we have learned about occupation. And we have also learned that we must respect every occupation. No occupation is big and small because all the occupation contributes to the society. We have also learned difference between working time and leisure time. We have also learned how to utilize our leisure time. Okay? Because all work and no play makes gel dull, right? Okay, so students, and the last thing we have learned about the right to go to school, to get education for every children, right? So thank you, students. See you in the next class with new lesson.